Good morning and welcome to another episode. I thought it was time to give another tour video of my lovely Lost Pearl. She is a Hardin 45 built in 1978. And the first time I did a little bit of a tour video was when I first bought the boat. So I thought it was a good time now to check to see the progress that I've made and maybe a little bit more details of some of the changes that I made. Here up at the bow, the minor changes were things like I put in all new nav lights, both port and starboard, and cleaned up a bunch of things. But the big thing, of course, is the new anchor system that I put in place. We'll go around to the side here and I can show you that a bit better. So for a new anchor, what I did was I added on this Arca XL. It's a 36 kilogram anchor, so it's one size too big for this boat by weight, but two sizes too big for by length. But I figured by weight would be the better choice because this boat is 17 tons. I had the windlass refurbished. It is a Lighthouse 1501, and the company itself, they allow a refurbishment program where I sent it all up to them. I have a whole video about me tearing that apart and installing it back together again. Both the head sail and the stay sail here are out for alterations. I had brand new sails made, but there were a couple of little things that need to be changed, and they're just here at a local sail maker. Precision Sails is taking care of the cost of that, as it was a bit of their goof. But it was really good from their experience to get it made right. I had a stack pack made here locally by Quantum Sails, and I've also added a whole new reefing system. So we have two new reef lines, which I needed to add the clutches for as well as the blocks. And then I also added a Tides Marine sail track. When I get some actual sailing time in, then I can show you how smoothly that whole track system works. The jack lines right now, or sorry, I should say the lazy jacks, are now in their stowed position. I just have them hooked underneath the reefing hook here. And this makes hoisting it super easy because there's none of the lines in the way, and it's super simple when it comes time to it that I can just hoist on this line here to raise the jack lines. These are the original solar panels that were on the boat. The previous owner had taken off the Dodger, because I guess it was in really dodgy shape, and put these solar panels right up on top. So this is roughly about 425, 450 watts worth of solar. I'm not 100% sure because there's no label on the back of this panel, so I'm just kind of guessing with that one. I put two new solar panels on the back. I have a video about that as well. That's another 400 watts. So I'm looking at about 850 watts altogether of solar capacity. On the mizzen, you can also see there are some lazy jacks. I did those myself. Using just some Dyneema line and some low friction rings. For that one, I don't need to stow them because the sail is so small, it doesn't really get interfered by those lazy jacks. At the stern of the boat, we have a propane locker and a bunch of mess. I have a bunch of things that I no longer need, so I'm going to have to take care of that. But the propane locker, I'm in the midst of changing out. You can see there's a small bottle. It's about a 12-pound propane bottle. And I'm switching it out because the propane locker will actually fit two 20-pound bottles, and that'll increase my capacity significantly. Here at the helm, I haven't had to do too much work. The electronics here were already really good. I just needed to do a lot of wood refinishing. The wheel was the way it is now, but a lot of all this other woodwork was really in bad shape. On the side here is a controller for the windlass, so I can see how many feet I've put out as well as raise or lower the windlass. That unit itself was also sent back at the same time that I did the whole windlass refurbishment program. And so that's all good and new. Also down below there was a cockpit table that was not installed. It does make it a little bit cramped when it's set up by the doors, but I'm feeling that once I'm in the tropics, I won't have the companionway doors up anyways. I'll probably just have some bug screen. Let's go down below decks and have a look. Once down the companionway, the first thing on the port side is the Galley. It is a propane stove, a 3-burner, along with an oven. Initially, the oven didn't work so well. However, after a bit of tinkering with the thermocouple and the actual control knob, and cleaning a bunch of stuff out, it seems to be working great now. And then forward of the galley we have the saloon area. And then here on the starboard side is where we have the dining area and where I typically do most of my computer work. Mostly just editing, really. Let's go down and have a look inside the lounge. So the saloon has this seating area. We have 2 chairs there. The one on the far side is actually a swivel chair. There's a berth up here. And then as we go along this side, we also have another sofa, and this one pulls out and turns into a double bed. I've added a bunch of different items here, namely lighting. I changed out some of the lighting in the existing lights and made sure all of the fixtures actually worked because they didn't quite all work initially. And then I added these LED strip lights that go up underneath, all up and along in here, and then up in all under in here, which gives it that kind of skylight look, which I really love. There is already plenty of storage on the boat, and there's also some lovely wooden accents as well. Here forward of the door, we have a V-berth that actually has 2 bunks, not that you can see because it's mostly full of stuff at the moment, including the doors to the engine bay, because I've had those open in the hopes of getting, of course, a new engine put in. Forward of that is the anchor locker. Here in the dining area is where I do a lot of my work on the laptop, and honestly, these days, the only thing I really do on the laptop is doing editing videos and occasionally photographs. I haven't done too many photo shoots. Well, I haven't done any photo shoots since November. So I haven't used it really for much Photoshop work other than once in a while I've edited an old photograph or something like that. In this area, one of the big things that I really changed other than working on the woodwork is, again, lighting. LED light bars now in behind here, also in each of the cabinets. And then more recently, I added these 2 little lights as well, these little touch lamps. They obviously touch on and off. They're also controlled on the same circuit that controls all the accent lighting. So with one switch, I can turn them on and turn them off. They're also dimmable. I can just press and hold and they will actually dim as well, which is a really cool feature. Here beside the companionway, I have a control panel set up. Most of this has changed. The only thing that's original is this windlass control here. There's a nice big beefy windlass control with a breaker switch built into it. So I need to turn this on anytime that I plan to use the windlass. Around the backside, there's actually a battery control switch, a selector switch, that I can control which set of batteries rather, are used to start the engine or power the windlass. Below here used to be a small solar charge controller, and here there were a couple of defunct instruments. They either were connected to nothing at all, or if they did have wires going to them, they were to sensors that were no longer working, or a shunt that wasn't working, or something like that. There were a couple of holes then in the wall, so I had this custom plate made that covered all the holes, and then added new ones to take in these 3 new instruments. On the bottom here we have a solar charge controller, and this is the controller that runs the 2 solar panels that I put installed at the back of the boat, the 2 stern rail ones, 200 watts each. And then this is a type of battery monitor that's connected directly to a shunt on the negative terminal of the house bank. And this is great because then this gives me exactly what's going in and out of the batteries at any one time. I can also see the total number of amp hours that are remaining in the battery, or view it as a percentage or as voltage. Because I have 2 different charge controllers, this little shunt then actually shows me exactly what's going on, regardless if it's coming from one controller or the other, or whichever solar panels are providing power. Up at the very top, there is just a simple on-off switch for the inverter. So anytime that I need to run any type of 110 type appliances or power tools, I can just turn it on and off from here. The inverter itself is located underneath the companionway. We have 2 passageways that lead aft. On the port side of the boat is where we have a nav station, which unfortunately is completely cluttered at the moment with the engine. And of course you can see the space where the engine should reside. And then the rest of this, there's a fridge underneath there, and you can see the fridge door there. There's also an access panel on the very top. So for the last couple of months, I've been having to step over an engine in order to get to my fridge. On the starboard side, this passageway aft goes through the head. So the head can be accessed directly from the aft stateroom, as well, of course, as from the dining area. The boat comes with this propane water heater, so it's a tankless on-demand water heater, which is actually really nice because it literally have endless hot water, as long as there's propane and, of course, water. And then back over here is the tub / shower. I've only used it as a shower. I don't think I would ever use it as a bathtub. However, it has come in handy to be able to wash larger items like a big towel or something like that that I wanted to get clean. Could certainly be done in there. And then further aft, we have the aft stateroom. And here we can see, of course, there's lots of storage. There's equal storage on either side with these 3 hanging lockers there, a series of drawers, and then even some more cabinets on the other side, far back. Those would be a little harder to open, so those would be for less used items. There is also this nice little vanity. And as you can see, it also has a bit of storage. I don't have anything in the drawer, and actually down in this bottom cabinet is where the emergency bilge pump resides. There's the long handle here, and also under here there is the autopilot computer system is housed under there. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed the tour. There are a few things that I missed, like at the stern of the boat there's some dinghy davits. I had done some new wood refinishing, a few items like that. Inside the boat, I just recently installed a water maker, and I'm actually going to be doing a separate video just about the water maker. But most notably, something that I was really intending to do that I kind of forgot when I did the tour, was this scroll work here that talks about Lost Pearl. That's something that was put on the boat, not by the previous owner or not by the owner before that. I think it was maybe 2-3 owners ago. I'm not 100% sure. But there's also a plaque on the, kind of on the side here on some of the cabinetry, which has a paraphrased version of the last paragraph of the John Steinbeck novella, The Pearl. And it's so fitting, and that's one of the reasons I really did not want to change the name of Lost Pearl when I first purchased her. And here, let me read you the last paragraph. This is a paraphrased version, but it says, "The pearl settled into the lovely green water, dropped toward the bottom, lay on the floor of the sea, and was gone. And the music of the pearl drifted to a whisper and disappeared."